My salutations to all of you. On behalf of Project Self and United Consciousness, I welcome you all to the first session of the Gita Odyssey live sessions. Today, on the occasion of Makar Sankranti and Pongal, we are starting our first course of the Gita Odyssey series, known as First Step into Bhagavad Gita. I'm so happy that we are starting this course on the occasion of Makar Sankranti, which symbolically represents the sun's movement towards Uttarayana. Let's start with a small introduction. In this short introduction, what we are going to communicate is why the Project Self team, including the author trio, has decided to work on this project. The Gita Odyssey is a big project. It includes books, it includes live classes, it includes songs, it includes chantings. There are so many things associated with this project. So we will talk about why our team has decided to work on this big project. Secondly, we wanted to cover what exactly is the structure of this course. This initiative is taken by Project Self. Project Self is a 501c non-profit organization registered in New Jersey, USA. We would like to start a transformative journey with Bhagavad Gita's insight. Because we believe in Bhagavad Gita's timeless wisdom. So that's why we have taken this project. And why? What is the vision of this Gita Odyssey project? We wanted to ensure that the profound teachings of the Bhagavad Gita are easily accessible and relatable to today's seeker. Let's underline and revisit this particular point. Bhagavad Gita has hundreds of commentaries. There are hundreds of teachings around Bhagavad Gita. They are brilliant teachings. What exactly this course is different from those courses? We wanted to make sure that this Bhagavad Gita's teaching is easily accessible to every one of you. We wanted to make sure that we are creating a knowledge base digitally so that it is easily accessible to all of you. And also we wanted to make sure that this message is presented in a language that is easily relatable to the people of our times. That is what the vision of this project. And this is our inaugural course. And we have 18 such courses designed as part of the Gita Odyssey. The first course is known as First Step into Bhagavad Gita. And this particular course is not designed for monks or people who know Sanskrit or Hindus or Indians. This course is designed for people of all walks of life. As long as they have an open mind and as long as they have an interest in going, this course is designed for them. So what exactly is the logistics and structure of this Gita Odyssey course? There are 3 instructors for this course. Myself, Rajesh Rabindranath, Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar, and Avanti Kundalia, known as author trio. We released our first book on December 15. What exactly is the teaching philosophy of this course? There are 3 things we are emphasizing as part of this course. Number 1 is authority, because we want to present the Gita in its original format. I don't want to present the Gita as I like. Rather, I would like to present the Gita as Krishna said and as interpreted by the Advaita Vedanta tradition. So our classes, our books and our commentaries will be completely aligned with the teachings of the Advaita Vedanta tradition and the original teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. That is one thing. Second one is the clarity. We want to make sure that whatever we present, it is clear. We will make sure that there is alignment from one verse to the other, chapter to chapter, and we won't present anything which we are not clear. Yes, there are certain things which are above the logic, but 100% we will not present anything which is against the logic. And we will present it as clear as possible and we will try to connect the dots and we will make sure that there is complete alignment from Shloka 1 to Shloka 701. So authority and clarity. And the last point is we will try our best to make these teachings as simple as possible. We will try to use a language which you can relate. We don't use complicated technical terms, and even if we use technical terms, we will make sure that those terms will be explained in a simple language which you can all relate to. And if you have any doubt, you can always contact us. We are going to create a WhatsApp group for Q&A. After every class, we will dedicate some time for Q&A. So we are with you. We will do our best to make sure that authority is maintained, there will be clarity, and there will be simplicity. And what exactly is our educational approach? We will make this teaching very structured. You will see PowerPoint presentation for every verse of the Gita. There will be slides, and there will be explanation, and there will be systematic flow of the ideas, and there will be a proper learning pathway in this to help you or support you in the study of this Bhagavad Gita. What exactly is the prerequisites required for this course? Nothing. What we need is open mind, commitment, and we are not expecting any prior knowledge of the Gita or Sanskrit or Vedanta. Everything you need to understand the Gita, we will cover as part of this course and also in the book. That is very important. And what about the course materials? The slides we use, the video recording of this course, and the audio extract of this class will be published to you within 24 hours after the class. The videos will be available in our YouTube channel. I request all of you to subscribe it, and also the audio will be available in a podcast form in Spotify. We will publish all these links in our WhatsApp group, Gita Odyssey WhatsApp channel. And as I mentioned earlier, the content of this course is completely aligned with the book we published, First Step into Bhagavad Gita. Every idea discussed in this book will be covered in this course. The course follows exactly step by step the book. So if you want to get a copy of the book, this book is available in Amazon, all parts of the world. Please feel free to get a book if you would like to have a manual, printed manual, or a Kindle manual for you to refer. What is the duration of everyday's course? Ideally, we will have 45 to 50 minutes teaching session, and there will be a 15 minutes dedicated QA segment. This is going to be the structure of a particular day. And the attendance. We request you to join as many classes as possible. And in case I totally understand, some days we cannot make it. In that case, the recordings will be available and the podcast will be available in the next day. So please make sure that you are watching that video, asking the instructors the questions, and come prepared for the next class. So if you put a little bit of effort, it is our assurance that you will understand Bhagavad Gita. That's our assurance. Now let's go to the next topic. We wanted to let you know why we started this particular program, the heartfelt journey behind this program. This particular program is conceived by the team Project Self. Even though there is an author trio, this particular program is a combined effort or a teamwork of the entire Project Self team. So in this section, I'm going to explain you what exactly is the reason why we undertook this project. First and foremost, our strong faith in the Bhagavad Gita's transformative power. Each one of this author trio, as well as every members of the Project Self family, experienced this transformative power of the Bhagavad Gita. We found that this teaching is capable of changing our dimensions completely. It can transform ordinary human being to extraordinary human being. It can make our ability to work completely efficient. At the very same time, it can give us the mental peace and tranquility. So after convinced by the transformative power of the Bhagavad Gita, we thought that it is our responsibility to share this information with as many people as possible. And that is one of the reasons why we started this project. And we request all of you to join this journey and try to spread the transformative message of the Bhagavad Gita, all-inclusive message of the Bhagavad Gita, the life-changing message of the Bhagavad Gita to as many people as possible. This is the primary reason why we undertook this project. And the second reason is the underutilization of the Bhagavad Gita. In our research and in our understanding, we found that a lot of people have tremendous respect for the Bhagavad Gita. But the fact of the matter is that this great scripture, this manual of life, this fantastic scripture which can change your life completely is utilized in a very minimal way. Most of the times people won't even utilize 10% of the Gita. If I may take an example, let's say that if you have a supercomputer which is capable of doing complex tasks for you, and if you use that supercomputer for mere arithmetic operations, for adding two numbers, what an underutilization, right? Let's assume that you have an iPhone, and if you use that iPhone only for making phone calls, what an underutilization. So Bhagavad Gita, which is capable of changing your life completely, which has the capability to make you the best version of yourself. If you use that Gita only as a religious book, if you use that Gita only to do one or two prayer, if you use that Gita only when you get a sad situation, you wanted to read one or two verses and get a consolation, that is definitely an underutilization of this great scripture. So we wanted to make sure that there is a broader engagement required with the Gita teaching, because that is going to help a lot of people. And with that conviction, we undertook this project. And the third point, in olden days, in the Vedic tradition, there was a systematic teaching methodology. The teaching was handover from master to student. It was known as Sampradaya. Sampradaya is a brilliant Sanskrit term which ensures that this knowledge is handed over and ensured that nothing is lost in that translation. But we are living in the 2024 where we are far away removed from that traditional Vedic teaching methodologies. Right now, if you want to learn Bhagavad Gita, we may listen some talks here and there, or we may read some books, but there is a lot of challenges in front of us. First of all, we don't have commandment over the original language, Sanskrit. And therefore, we have to depend upon the commentary. And commentaries contradict each other. There are hundreds of thousands of commentaries of Bhagavad Gita. But most of these commentaries contradict each other. I'm not saying that one commentary is good, one commentary is bad. But it is a fact that if you take two commentaries, you often think that sometimes they don't align and sometimes they appear completely opposite, because each master may follow different metaphysical models. Some people may follow a dualistic approach. Some people follow a monoistic or an Advaitic approach. So if you read the commentary of these two metaphysical models, it appears to be totally different. And sometimes what happens? The loose translation of the Sanskrit words to English word can confuse us. For example, soul. That is a word that can confuse us completely, because the word soul has a different meaning in the Western or the Christian theology. So if you use that word to represent Atma, it can confuse us. So there is a lot of modern study obstacles. And we struggled a lot in handling these obstacles. So whatever we learned in the past 20 years, if we document and tell you, you will be able to choose your metaphysical path and you will be able to navigate it easily and efficiently. So that is another reason why we started this project. And the next reason, the fourth reason is that we are living in a modern age. So we wanted to make sure that the same ancient teachings is presented in a language that is understandable or that is relatable to the modern audience. Because most of these commentaries are written, like some of them are written thousands of years back, some of them are written like 30 to 40 years back. So we wanted to make sure that we know that in the last 30, 40 years, how much the world has changed. So we need to use new example. We need to use new use cases. We may have to take new situations. The underlying message won't change, but it needs to be presented in a context. It is need to be presented for the context. It needs to be presented for the time. We thought that that is extremely important because sometimes the religious language may not relate with the modern seekers. Its religious is language is only a presentation, but the underlying principle is scientific. It can be presented in a scientific language. It can be presented with logic and common sense, and it can be presented in a way that is more relatable to our modern communications. So that is one reason we wanted to make use of as much technology as possible. We are going to use that, and also we are going to use all the teaching aids and the methodologies. That is another reason why we started this project. And the fifth point is, a lot of people think that this Bhagavad Gita is only for the retired people. Swami Chinmayananda used to say, it is meaning a lot of people believe that this teaching is only for the retired and retarded. A lot of people think that I will study the Bhagavad Gita only after my retirement. No. Please understand that this is a manual of life. When you want to use that manual, as early as possible. Let's say that if you buy a new gadget, when will you open and read the manual? Is that at the end of the life of the product? Absolutely no. So we wanted to take this message to the professionals, not monks or the spiritual aspirants. Because the message of the Gita is so powerful, it is going to be extremely useful for the professionals, homemakers, and all the modern people who lives and breathe in the modern world. So instead of targeting this teaching for the spiritual aspirants, we wanted to make sure that we wanted to get engaged with professionals as well as the homemakers. So all the members of the project self are professional and they are householders. We understand your problem, we can relate with you, and that is another reason why we started this project. And finally, we are so thankful to our teaching tradition. Our teaching tradition is so wonderful. They gave us the Bhagavad Gita and they gave us this wonderful teachings. All these masters, starting from Bhagavan Krishna, Veda Vyasa, Shankaracharya, Swami Chinmayananda, Swami Dayananda, Swami Sarvapriyananda, Swami Mitrananda, all these great masters have contributed a lot in preserving and protecting and handing over this teaching. So we thought we also have some obligation giving our respect to these masters. That is why we wanted to take this project. These are the honest reasons why we started this course, why we wrote the books, and why we are doing all the other projects as part of the Gita Odyssey. Now let's quickly talk about the first course, the first step into Bhagavad Gita. As I explained earlier, this course is completely aligned with the book we published in December 2023. First step into Bhagavad Gita. Every topic we cover will be exactly in the same order of the book. So if you want to have a copy of the book, as I said, you can get that from Amazon. Second thing is that we wanted to set the foundation properly because we are taking a big journey and we wanted to make sure that the foundation is strong. And that is why this first portion of the book, we dedicated a complete section to talk about the fundamental knowledge required for an effective study of the Gita. Then the third one is that we wanted to create a knowledge base so that we can build a collective understanding. So if any one of you are interested in becoming a Gita teacher, please contact us. The first course is going to give you all the basic foundation, and this is going to help you to spread the message of the Gita. The next point is that in this book and in this course, there are 5 sections. We organize these 5 sections for clarity and also for understanding the content properly. And finally, we created this live session along with the book to make sure that whatever we discussed in this book is clear and understandable to all of you. So this is the first course of the Gita Odyssey, first step into Bhagavad Gita. Now let's deep dive into the course. What exactly we covered as part of the course? As I said, there are 5 sections in this course. The first section is beginning of the Odyssey, the introduction, which we are just completing right now. So as part of the introduction, we wanted to talk about 2 major ideas. First one is why the Project Self team undertook this project of Gita Odyssey. I already explained 6 reasons. And the second point is what exactly is the structure of this particular course, which we are covering right now. Second section is the most important section in this particular course. We named it as preparing for the journey. Basically, essential knowledge for a meaningful study of the Bhagavad Gita. As part of this section, we are going to talk about the Gita's essence. Mainly, we are going to talk about why, what, and how. If you undertake any new projects in the modern world, if you look at the project charter, you see 3 topics: why, what, and how. Just like that, we are doing before you study Bhagavad Gita. We are even questioning the relevance of the Bhagavad Gita in an age of artificial intelligence. And then we are going to show why one should study the Bhagavad Gita in the digital age. That is the first topic we are going to cover. And then we are going to talk about what exactly is this Bhagavad Gita we are talking. What is the body of knowledge? So we are going to define what is Bhagavad. And then we are going to talk about, okay, if this is something that needs to be studied, and if it is a body of knowledge, what is the best way to study the Bhagavad Gita? How can I study the Bhagavad Gita? That what the methods of engaging with the Gita effectively. And additional topics we are covering, like what are all the myths that are spread about Gita. And also we are going to have a detailed discussion on the historical context of the Gita, like when it was written, how it was propagated, how it came to United States, and what is the status of the Gita in 2024 or the 2020s. What exactly is the status? Where exactly it stands? And this is an interesting discussion because we wanted to make sure that you're getting at that entire holistic view of the Gita. And finally, we are going to talk about the global impact of the Gita. So these are the fundamentals going to help you for a meaningful study. And the third section is the Bhagavad Gita Dhyanam. It is the meditative verses of the Bhagavad Gita. First, we introduce what exactly is Dhyana Shloka means. What is the relevance of Dhyana Shloka in our culture and why it is used? What is the meaning of Dhyana Shloka? How it can benefit us? All those topics will be discussed. And then we will go line by line, verse by verse of the Dhyana Shloka and do a detailed analysis. There are fantastic sections in the Dhyana Shloka. We don't know who composed the Dhyana Shloka, but they are fantastic and phenomenal. You will see some really, really interesting verses, and we will try our best to make sure that these ideas are clear to you. And then the fourth topic or fourth section of this course is Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita. As Swami Mitrananda Ji was explaining the other day, often this particular chapter will be overlooked by the students of Gita. But mind you, the first chapter is very important. It is extremely important to understand the first chapter because the first chapter gives the problem statement of the Gita. If the Gita is a manual of life, what exactly is the problem it is addressing? It is addressing the fundamental human problem. So we are going to present the chapter 1 in the context of Mahabharata, and apart from that, we are trying to take the problem statement out of the context, because the same problem I can have. When I work in Wall Street, I can have. A homemaker can have the same problem. A student in the university can have same problem. A person sitting in the African jungle can have the same problem. That is why it is known as a universal problem. The problem of Arjuna was not a problem of a prince in a battlefield, but this is a problem each and every one of us have in our battle of life. So how can we discover that Arjuna within ourselves? How can we relate with Arjuna's problem so that when Bhagavan Krishna gives his teaching, how it will be relevant to each one of us? That is what we are going to talk about. And we will do a verse by verse analysis of the entire chapter 1, 47 shlokas. Every shloka we will see from two contexts. One is the Mahabharata context and a complete subjective context. And finally, we will do some summary. We will pick up some important verses we need to keep in our mind. That is going to cover the section 4. And finally, the section 5 is a reflection of what we covered in this particular course, and that is where it ends. This is the structure of the course. And overall, Gita Odyssey is going to have 18 such courses. Once you cover this 18 courses, you will get a clear understanding of the Gita by the grace of Krishna. So that completes the first section of the Gita Odyssey course. And now we are getting into the second section, preparing for the journey. Or in other words, what we are going to cover in this section is essential knowledge required for a meaningful study of the Bhagavad Gita. Please believe me, this is one of the most important section of this entire Gita Odyssey series. So I request all of you to pay close attention to the topics covered in this particular section, because this is going to help you to unlock Bhagavad Gita properly. This is going to help you to understand Bhagavad Gita. This is going to give you that purpose and clarity you need to have for the study of the Bhagavad Gita. As part of this Gita Odyssey series, we try to create a lot of reflection topics. And let's start with our first reflection topic before we get into the foundational studies. Whatever project you do in your life, it is better to have a sound preparation. There is a beautiful statement in the Bhagavad Gita. Swami Chinmayananda often used to quote this: plan out your work and then work out your plan. Remember, plan out your work and then work out your plan. The former without the latter. If you just plan your work and if you do not execute that work, that's a sheer waste of time. And if you just work without plan, that is an unproductive confusion. That is why we are saying that if you want to study Bhagavad Gita properly, you need to have some preparation. Preparation, you need to have some foundations so that the journey will be smooth and you will have some purpose. So this quote is for your reflection. Please try to reflect all these quotes. We are going to have almost 1,000 plus quotes in about Bhagavad Gita, and we will cover at appropriate time. So we will start with our first reflection. It tells, sound preparation smoothens the path of any journey, ensuring each step is taken with purpose and clarity. And that is what is symbolically shown in the picture. You are undertaking your life's journey. If you know your purpose, if you know that the why I am studying Bhagavad Gita, I am not studying the Bhagavad Gita for getting a little bit of consolation. I am not studying the Bhagavad Gita to get some mastery over Sanskrit. I am not studying Bhagavad Gita because I am a Hindu or an Indian. No, I am studying Bhagavad Gita to understand myself. I am studying Bhagavad Gita to understand the reality of the universe. I am studying Bhagavad Gita to relate myself with that universal consciousness. So when you understand this, when you have that roadmap, when you have that clarity, your journey will be smooth. Reflect on this quote and it will be definitely helpful to you. So let's go to the first topic in this foundations. The first topic we are going to cover is the relevance of Bhagavad Gita in modern times. In other words, why should I study Bhagavad Gita? Right? Remember, as I said, like why, what, and how should be the three questions we need to ask before we start any project. In modern project management, this is what you learn. So before you invest your time, effort, and energy in the study of Bhagavad Gita, it is better to clarify. It is better to understand why should I study this Bhagavad Gita in this 21st century, in 2024. This is an important question. So this is what we are going to cover today. And next week onwards, we will cover the other topic. But this is an important question. the relevance of Bhagavad Gita in modern times. So let's try to understand. We are going to undertake the study of the Bhagavad Gita, but before that, we need to take a pause and see what is the place of Gita in the age of artificial intelligence. As we know that right now, our era, the time we are living, is ruled by the technology advancements, including artificial intelligence. If you ask ChatGPT, it will tell you almost everything, right? And you know that there are hundreds of tools and techniques and gadgets around you which can help you to gain any knowledge. So, in this era of artificial intelligence, does the Bhagavad Gita hold any relevance? Right? Do you want to invest the time to study Bhagavad Gita, or should I learn machine learning? Or should I learn positive psychology? Or should I learn something else? So, is the ancient wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita in 5,000 years back, is that relevant and still applicable? And the second point is the value of the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita now, right? Considering the rapid advancement of our time, delving into a 5,000-year-old scripture, is that a worthwhile investment? We are talking about something that was written 5,000 years back. Look at the classical physics, which came like a few hundred years back. We know that that is not complete right now. Lot of scientific findings which was there in last 100 years, we know that completely got changed. Lot of body of knowledge which was very relevant 50 years back is no more relevant, right? Lot of tools and technologies which was relevant or which was very significant sometimes back, early 80s audio cassette was very much relevant. What is the value of that right now? So we are talking about a body of knowledge which is 5,000 years old. What is the value of that knowledge right now under the changed circumstances? It is worth to investigate. And the third one is relevance across millennia. As Bhagavad Gita certainly addressed Arjuna's problem. We all know that. But can we relate with Arjuna's problem right now? Because the old dilemmas or the old challenges at that point of time, is that even going to mirror the complications and challenges encountered in the 21st century? They are completely different. The problems are different. The operating model of the world is different. The people are different. The situations are different. And the tools and technology is different. Everything is different. Not just different, it is completely different. So, is the Gita's teaching relevant now under that changed circumstances? The next one is in that technology-driven arena of existence. What is the value of a scripture has? The modern educational system is giving us almost everything. Why should I study the scripture now? Finally, even the relevance. How can the Bhagavad Gita resonate with the unique challenge of the modern lifestyle? So this is an important question. The great master Shankaracharya, in his commentary of Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita, also tells, before we undertake anything, we should have a clear understanding of the benefits we are getting. Prayojanam anuddishya na mantopi pravartade. Even without understanding the benefit, even the most foolish person will not undertake any activity. So it's extremely important, in spite of my reverence to Gita, in spite of my belief system, before I invest a lot of time and energy, it is better to understand why the study of the Gita is relevant in 2024. Let's do a little bit more analysis. A lot of people think that, okay, the olden days were good, the modern days is bad. That is completely wrong. Our time is truly blessed. Friends, I'm talking with most responsible way. Our time is one of the most blessed time in the history of humanity. Because look at our life. The science and technology has blessed our life in an unparalleled way. Look at the facilities we are enjoying. scientific breakthroughs. Oh my God, we have understood secret behind the universe. Right now, we do have understandings of the quantum particles to the galaxies. We have a fully developed quantum mechanics. We have the general theory of relativity. We know most of the secrets of the universe. We have a weather prediction system. We have advanced a lot in science and technology. What does that mean? It has enhanced the quality of our life completely. I can look at my weather and see whether it is going to be raining or snowing tomorrow. I can look at so many things. We already landed in moon and we are trying to understand the working of the whole universe. That is amazing. And the medical field has witnessed miracles. The lifespan and the longevity has improved. There are medications for a lot of diseases. Obviously, still we are working on that. But compared to the last 100 years, right now we are in a much better position, right? Even the mental health. Once upon a time, there was nothing about the mental health. Right now, we have treatments for even depression, anxiety, and everything. And also look at the luxuries we have. Even common people like us can afford to have luxurious thing. I always think about this. Imagine the old emperors like Akbar or a Caesar or like a Chandragupta Maurya. Whatever they enjoyed in their palace, that is available. Ordinary people like us, common people like us, can afford even better than that. The Akbar or a Caesar, imagine what is the speed by which they can travel, the maximum speed. It is 35 kilometers per hour. But look at us. We can get into a plane and travel to India in a day, right? Not just that. Look at the gadgets we have. Even the greatest empire in the world didn't have internet. They didn't have a smartphone. They didn't have an Aura ring. They didn't have a smartwatch. Oh my God. It's unparalleled. They could not even imagine that this would be the state of the universe, right? And it's amazing how much luxuries we have, and every day it is increasing. Look at the car you drive now and look at the car you had in 90s. Can you compare that? The growth is amazing. And the longevity, we all know that the medical system has improved a lot as a result of what? Even insurance companies are updating the longevity duration of an individual. It's a fact that the lifespan has increased. The child death, how much it is reduced. Lot of diseases we were able to eliminate from the planet. So this is wonderful things. And finally, the tech connectivity. My God, we all are lucky, right? We saw a revolution of internet, the revolution in computing around 90s, right? Now I cannot imagine a world without connectivity, without my smartphone. People think that without that smartphone they are handicapped. That is the situation. The distance between the worlds or the countries have reduced. Earlier, you all know that, right? When we came to America first time, we used to write letters to our parents. Right now, what happened? This has become, nobody is writing letters, right? In a second, you can reach out anybody. You can have video calls with any person in the whole world. The entire world is connected together, and that is the blessings of our time. So, if you ask me, what exactly is the contribution of science and technology? It's unbelievable. They contributed a lot for humanity, and the advancements and the luxuries and the benefits they have given to us is unparalleled. This is really, we need to acknowledge that. So now the question is, what is the issue then? The science and technology is giving everything. Yes, the science and technology is giving us a lot of things, but is that complete? Can we lead a happy and a contented life? Now let's look into some other observations. Along with this technology advanced, there is a new dilemma that popped up. It is known as the happiness paradox. The happiness paradox is why the human beings are not happy or contented in spite of this material comforts. We know that these material comforts has doubled or tripled or gone up to 10 times in the last few years. But what is the state of happiness? A lot of people think that money will bring happiness. Certainly, the lack of money is going to bring unhappiness. I acknowledge. But look at the statistics. On the y-axis, you have the GDP per capita. And the data is given from 1970 to 2010. We can see that the GDP per capita has doubled in this time period. But what about the happiness? It's not increasing. In fact, it is decreasing. Why? In spite of this progress in the material wealth, comforts, the society's happiness is not increasing and often decreasing. Isn't it a paradox? It's a wonder. We think that, okay, I have all these things, I'll be completely happy, right? But practically we are finding that no, these advancements of technology, this increase in comforts, increase in lifespan is not increasing the happiness and contentment. And the global trend is that, as per the World Happiness Report published in 2021, there is a continuous decline in the global happiness level. And that is unbelievable because we see that the progress every day in the material world. Even our own life. I don't have to explain that to you, right? If you could imagine the life you are living now, like when you were a student, you thought that, oh my God, I don't ask anything further. But can you touch your heart and think, is your happiness increased? Right? Nothing more for sure. That is the global trend. And this stagnant happiness, a lot of studies have revealed that the happiness has not changed for decades. And on top of that, there is a new issue that popped up. See, the material comforts will not come without a cost. You have to work hard. I don't have to explain you. Those who work in Wall Street or those who work in consulting, you know very well, right? You will get a lot of money, but the amount of work you have to put forth, it is stressful and it is very difficult, right? You have to work longer hours. You have to work with stress. You have to work under different conditions, and it comes with a cost. Stress. And stress is the silent killer of our time. And the economic impact of the stress and the mental diseases are over $1 trillion per year in the United States itself. This particular statistics is published by the American Psychological Association's report. We know that the technology is improving. The technology is like giving us a lot of benefit. And when you try to correlate this digital connectivity, it is surprising to see that the level of loneliness and depression also has increased. So what exactly we are concluding from this? We thought that external material possession, we will have greater happiness. Yes, it is a fact that the material possessions are giving us comfort, but it is clearly proven that the material comfort is not equate to greater happiness. We always think that comfort and happiness are the same. This material prosperity has made us comfortable. What happens? We are comfortably unhappy. This is very interesting. So here there is a reflective prompt for each one of you. Consider if more possessions truly equate to greater happiness. This data clearly shows otherwise. It is my request that each one of you go back to your life, because right now you think that if I am retiring with a $10 million or $20 million, I'll be completely happy. Is that going to be true? Please reflect. This is the modern dilemma. The material worth versus true happiness. We saw this happiness paradox. In an age of material wealth, true happiness we don't have that true happiness. We thought that the external achievements are going to give me happiness. But we found that external achievements are often disconnected from that everlasting contentment. And we thought that the fast paced world is going to give us everything we need. But this fast paced lifestyle definitely gives us pause, definitely gives us prosperity, but at the cost of stress and anxiety. Now you may think that this lifestyle is wrong. You have to go back to the olden lifestyle. Yes, the past had simplicity. But what is the problem? There was no progress. You can sit in a village doing nothing and live with minimum things, but you will stay the same. So on one side you have tamasic life, you don't do anything, you don't have any stress, you don't have much aspiration, but there is no progress. On the other side, there is hard work, there is energy, and there is progress, but stress. Each of this has problem. So what we need is ability to work in the modern world, achieve everything, but in that process, if we can find happiness and contentment, and if we can manage our stress, that is the ideal lifestyle. And that is the navigating process with inner peace. We want a balancing act. How can we align the pursuit of progress? Because we want progress with our intrinsic need of peace and happiness. So, what we want is we want progress and also we want peace and happiness. If we have progress without peace and happiness, what a terrible life it is. And if you have only peace and happiness and we don't progress, that is also not good. What we need is a balancing act. And that is what is shown in this picture. You can see on one side skyscrapers and on the other side a serene environment. What we need is a combination of both. We need progress. We need to go ahead with life. We need to work hard. But at the very same time, we need that happiness and contentment, and we need to manage our stress. This is the ideal lifestyle. Now the question is, if this is the ideal lifestyle, what type of education and training we are getting in the modern world? Friends, you all studied college and your kids are also studying. Can you tell me somewhere these ideas are taught? Of course, now Daniel Goleman is talking about this. Dr. Seligman is talking about that. But nothing concrete is there in the curriculum yet. And that is where the relevance of the Bhagavad Gita. The ancient wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita teaches exactly this balancing act. How can I be efficient without getting stressed, without getting depressed, without getting anxious, and finding my inner happiness and peace? And then in this process, how can I go towards the better versions of myself and get to the ultimate destination of this life? And this is how the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita provides insights into overcoming this contemporary dilemma. This dilemma was there in Arjuna's time. This dilemma is there in our time. I quoted with modern statistics. I presented you the facts. What exactly created problem for Arjuna might be different from what exactly creates problem for me. The nature of the problem might be different. What exactly is the problem is different from different people at different times, and even it is different for one person at different times. But that I have a problem, and that problem is giving me stress and anxiety, and that problem is taking my mental peace away from me, is constant. It was there 5,000 years back and it is there right now, and that is exactly the Bhagavad Gita is addressing, and that is the relevance of Bhagavad Gita in 21st century. This transformative power of the Bhagavad Gita is to give that balance. The Bhagavad Gita's teachings answers life's most profound question. How can I live in this world? The Bhagavad Gita is coming and teaching us very clearly that if you think that the happiness is coming from the external object, you are living in a fool's paradise. The happiness you need to find from within. And that is why Bhagavad Gita teaches us to cultivate inner mastery and find authentic happiness. And this authentic happiness, it's a mental state that is cultivated beyond the material success. The success will come and the success may go. I may not be successful as much as I expected, but you should not be dependent upon your happiness and contentment for that. That is what the Bhagavad Gita is going to teach you in a step by step manner. And also, Bhagavad Gita's greatest contribution is this balancing action, achieving efficiency of action without sacrificing this inner happiness. Pravritti Lakshana and Nivritti Lakshana. These two, one is a lifestyle which focused on achieving the worldly success, econo-social welfare, and on the other side, it is the balance and contentment. So Bhagavad Gita present this as the two wings of a bird. If the bird loses one wing, it cannot fly properly. So in the same way, this pravritti lakshana, which is the life of action, and the nivritti lakshana, the life of contemplation, has to go together. And that is what is going to make your foundation strong. When you have that foundation strong, the tree will not fall down and it will prosper tremendously. And this harmony, the two different life, right? One is the life of action and the life of contemplation, is the unique and the greatest contribution of Bhagavad Gita. The great master Shankaracharya, in his introduction to Bhagavad Gita, tells one of the benefit of the Bhagavad Gita. He tells, Praninam Sacha Apyudaya Nishreyasa Hetuhu. This teaching is going to bring what is prani, the meaning all the living beings. What? Apyudaya. Apyudaya means econo-social welfare, the prosperity, the efficiency in action, and nishreyasa, that contentment, that happiness, that inner peace. When you have these two, the life itself becomes a joyful experience. This is why we need to study Bhagavad Gita. I hope you got the answer. Why should I study Bhagavad Gita in an age ruled by the artificial intelligence? The Bhagavad Gita has relevance even in the world of artificial intelligence, because this problem is never addressed by any other teachings. So this teaching is going to make you stress free and at the very same time very efficient. This is the reason why we all need to study the Bhagavad Gita. And what is Gita's path to this harmonious living? First one is the holistic potential. The Gita teaches to attain that peak potential known as flow by balancing the worldly success and the spiritual growth. The second one is the inner strength and unity. The Gita helps me strengthen myself. How? It reveals the true nature of myself. It reveals the true nature of the reality of the universe. It helps me to connect myself with that reality of the universe. And it gives me that tremendous strength. And when I operate under that tremendous strength, which comes from that unity of everything, I should be able to overcome any challenge in front of my path. The Gita also giving me the mindful modern living. It helps you to navigate complexities of life, and in spite of all the problems, it helps you to find peace and happiness. And as I explained earlier, it helps us to have that harmonious balance. It is from the inner and outer harmony. When that harmony is there, right, you will be freed from the pressure of society, and you will be freed from any other external challenges. You will be able to face that challenges beautifully. Usually what happens, the external situation is going to take me as a victim of the circumstances. Mastering Gita is mastering life. It is going to make you a master of the circumstances rather than a victim of the circumstances. And that is what is depicted in this picture. One side you see all the material progress. On the other side, it is always connected with that calm and serene environment. And you are traveling towards that ultimate destination of life, which is knowing yourself, which is represented by the sun. Hope you are enjoying these images also. Finally, what is the practical wisdom for modern living? The Bhagavad Gita's principle gives the practical guidance for navigating the complexities of the life. And it defines the healthy boundary. As a human being, what should I do or where should I restrain? That information is given. And it helps you to make mindful choices in the digital age. And the Gita is going to give me that balanced living, and it is going to enrich my life experience. As you can see in the image, this teaching is not meant for a particular group of people. It is equally applicable for all the people in the world. Anybody with a human mind, this teaching is pretty much applicable. And that completes the first topic. So what we tried to communicate was why the study of Bhagavad Gita is important in the digital age. Let's conclude today's session with the whispers of eternity, which is the reflections we try to do with Gita. So the second reflection we have as part of the Gita Odyssey is an interesting question. I request all of you to contemplate this particular quote and try to connect that with your life. What this quote says is true fulfillment lies not in the abundance of material possessions, but in creating that harmony between the outer achievements and inner contentment. Imagine that there is a CEO who is highly successful, but he is always stressed and absolute no happiness. What worth that life has? So this is very important. The true fulfillment lies not in the abundance of material possessions, but creating the harmony. And one of the beauty of the Bhagavad Gita is it never said that the material possessions are not important. The material possessions are also important, but that alone is not going to make you completely happy and completely contented. So what the lifestyle advocated by Gita is a combination or a balancing of the material progress and the inner contentment. So that completes the lesson 1. Let's quickly recap. Today we covered the introduction of this course. We talked about why we are doing this particular project as part of Project Self and Author Trio. What is the structure of this particular course? There are 18 courses in Gita Odyssey, and we started with the first course, which is the first step in the Bhagavad Gita. And then we went to the second section, and the second section mainly for discussing about the foundations required for a meaningful study. And today we started with the first topic, why we are studying Gita in the current time, in the digital age. So we have seen that what exactly is the modern dilemma. The science and technology has offered a lot of solutions and a lot of luxury. But the fact of the matter is that we don't have that complete happiness and contentment in spite of this material progress. We have seen several statistics representing this information. And then we saw the happiness paradox, which is in spite of the progress, the happiness is not there, the decline in the overall well being. And we saw that is exactly the problem addressed by the Gita. So that is what makes the Gita's teaching relevant even after 5,000 years. And we saw the holistic approach, a lifestyle that balances between the material success and spiritual growth. So imagine that lifestyle where you can work efficiently without much pressure, with happiness. And Gita provides actionable principle for managing the complexities of the life and provides a meaningful life and a great experience. And that is what I wanted to communicate today. Before we go to the question answer session, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining this course and supporting us. On behalf of the author trio, myself, Rajesh Rabindranath, Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar, and Avanti Kundalia, I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting us and joining this course. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me. We are creating a WhatsApp group. Those who have interest in Q&A, you can always join there. You can post their question. We will take each and every question in the next class. Once again, I wish you a happy Makar Sankranti, happy Pongal, and whatever festivals you are celebrating throughout the world. Thank you very much.